And we are a go for episode 2 of the Growth and Development Podcast. I had a really good time with the first episode, and I'm excited to start with the second. No need for introductions, but my name is Marco, 23, living in Texas. Today's podcast really was inspired by the past week that I had. I didn't have the best week mentally. And it wasn't, a lot of things can be attributed to my own shortcomings, my own pitfalls. One thing that I've noticed recently, and I'm sure you don't need me to explain this to you, but a lot of people abuse ChatGPT for basic Google searches. I like to use ChatGPT to make meaning, form connections, rationalize thoughts. I wanted to really see what ChatGPT had to say about how taking accountability can improve or can steer you away from a lack mindset, and how it can minimize jealousy. I'm not a jealous person, but I think we can all admit that we wish we had certain situations. I didn't realize I had this filter on still. I apologize. I hope that's not distracting. I'm sure there's often times where we wish we had something or lived a certain way that we see other people doing. I apologize if my computer fan is in the background. This is what ChatGPT had to say. Taking accountability for your shortcomings shifts your mindset from victimhood to empowerment, reframing challenges as opportunities for growth rather than as evidence of scarcity or failure. And I asked it to give connections to spirituality, esoteric themes, quantum physics, as far as reasoning goes for the explanations. When it comes to mindset reframe of shifting from lack to abundance, recognizing your role in your progress moves you out of the quote-unquote blame game, right? Instead of focusing on your external factors such as luck, competition, societal things, political things, you identify areas where your own actions can bring improvement. And this leads to the abundance mindset because you realize you're not at the mercy of limited resources, which is, speaking about myself here, I do acknowledge that I limit myself sometimes because of awareness of my finances, awareness of transportation issues, certain things like that, right? And because this realization that you're not at the mercy of limited resources, you're actively creating and directing your success. Now, on the spiritual side of things, there is a law of cause and effect. Sometimes it's known as the law of karma. If you take responsibility, you honor your own creative power as a co-creator of your own life. The universe created you, God created you. You are the co-creator. You open yourself to this abundance and prosperity, instead of just aligning it with luck or pure circumstance or the context of whatever is going on around you or what affects you, from higher up. And in terms of quantum physics, the observer effect shows that the act of observing something changes its state. When you consciously observe and take responsibility for your patterns, you collapse the potentiality of failure into the actionable possibility of success. Now, I'll give you an example of me taking accountability of these limited resources. I do not have a driver's license. I'm 23 and I do not have my driver's license. I won't get into specifics or reasonings or the excuses of why I don't have one, but you can see how I have created my own limitation by not being more adamant, by not lighting a fire under my ass to get my driver's license and be able to take myself to and fro as I please, wherever I need to go, wherever I should go, wherever I want to go, to create opportunities for myself. So moving forward, the driver's license will be in my hands and my wallet soon. Now, when you focus on growth, you dissolve any sort of jealousy that can come about. Jealousy stems from perceiving others as having something you lack. By acknowledging where you can improve, jealousy turns into inspiration. Instead of envying others, you analyze their path for insights to apply to your own. For example, I see some people's businesses booming, flourishing, doing beautifully. People booked and busy. I love to work. I want my business to be booked and busy 8 to 4, 9 to 5, whatever it may be, every day. But what are they doing that I'm not? Making content regularly, going live on social media regularly, interacting with people, making sure that there's interactions with people, going out in their communities, not being afraid of taking risks. Have I been doing that? To a certain extent, but not to the extent of their consistency, which I admire. And I'm not jealous of these other people. They have put in the work. But for me, if I was jealous, you could see how this would inspire me to minimize that jealousy and follow suit with the approaches that these other business owners have. Within esotericism, jealousy is considered a vibration of separation, whereas accountability aligns you with the principle of oneness. If you focus on your inner growth, you recognize that others' successes are evidence of what's possible for yourself in the collective field of human potential. Excuse me. Now, when it comes to the connection to quantum physics, the idea of entanglement suggests that everything is interconnected. Another person's success does not take away from your own, but actually it reinforces the possibility of success within the electromagnetic field that you share. Even if they're not right next to me, energy is everywhere all at once. So if we're sharing an energy field, that interconnectedness really shows me that their success is their own and I could have my own too. They're not taking away from mine. They're not taking away from my creativity, my innovation, my approach, my philosophies. Now, moving on to alignment with the energy of creation. When you own your shortcomings, you empower yourself to act differently. This aligns you with the energy of creation, moving from, wishing passively to manifesting actively. Every action becomes a vote for your future that you desire to experience. For example, I have a lot of creative projects that require me to do research and to read. And while I have a pile of books next to me on a bookshelf, I haven't been reading them. I haven't had the motivation and the discipline to read the amount of text that I should from these books daily. Now, moving forward, tomorrow, I will make it a point to not only practice driving, but to read these books to fuel my creative projects as well. In spiritual teachings, this is akin to moving from powerlessness or the victim consciousness to the consciousness of a creator. The universe only mirrors your internal state. Accountability signals readiness for alignment with abundance and higher vibration realities. It's like whenever I tell friends about the measurement of success of my business and my personal standards, I have told them, I'm happy that my goals for my business's success have not been met already, because if they were, I probably would not be ready and I would be extremely overwhelmed. I would not be prepared for what I'm envisioning. And the perspective of quantum physics, the quantum field is a sea of infinite possibilities. By focusing on solutions rather than problems, you amplify the likelihood of drawing favorable outcomes from that field. When you go to a doctor's office, right? Do you think the doctor focuses on all of your symptoms while not thinking of solutions for you at the same time that they're considering the symptoms? Because if you just have a bunch of problems and issues and concerns in a tub of water, but you're not adding the solutions that you're aware of, that you think about, that you create for yourself into that mix, that pool is just a bunch of negativity, a lot of restraint. You need to really figure out ways to eliminate any concern or symptom of a life that you don't desire. When it comes to energy, resonance, and attraction, taking responsibility for your actions or your non-action, you raise your energetic vibration because you step into your inner power. Higher vibration energy like gratitude, responsibility, abundance, this only attracts experiences that match with it, and in turn reduces feelings of lack or envy. And according to the law of attraction, what you focus on expands. So if you're taking accountability, you shift your focus to what you can do, which then attracts more opportunities for growth and success. Because if you're focusing on your problems, you're only going to find more ways that those problems pose a threat to your life. You're going to find more detailed descriptions and explanations and reasonings as to why this poses a threat to your joy or happiness. And a lot of you guys know that energy vibrates at frequencies. So when you act from a space of ownership and empowerment, you resonate with the frequencies of success. And you only pull similar energies towards you. You attract that. And we're going to talk about, next we're going to talk about expanding self-awareness and universal alignment. So, shortcomings, when you start owning them, that comes from you having self-awareness, right? And when you have a deep self-awareness, it helps contribute to breaking limiting beliefs about yourself. Anything that makes you think that you're not good enough for something, that's a limiting belief. And when they start breaking, you create space for clarity and alignment with your values and your goals as well. And this in itself, in the spiritual perspective, it mirrors the Hermetic principle of as within, so without. Inner alignment, such as taking accountability for your internal world, it shifts your outer reality, reducing feelings of competition or scarcity limitation, restraint, doors slammed in your face. And as far as like insight goes into quantum physics, in the quantum field, your beliefs and emotions impact the possibilities of outcomes. So when you align your internal state with your desired reality, you increase the likelihood of that reality materializing. Before I give my final remarks, let's see what ChatGPT has to say at the end of all of this. By taking accountability, you shift your vibration from scarcity to abundance. Align yourself with the universal flow of creation and dissolve jealousy by fostering inspiration and interconnectedness. The combination of spiritual wisdom and quantum physics suggests that your reality reflects your internal state, making accountability one of the most transformative tools for growth. So moving forward, I'm not going to blame other people for me not being happy with where I am in life. Those hard weeks, those hard days, I cannot blame anyone but myself. May someone, do something to put me at a disadvantage, directly or indirectly? Yeah. But I can only blame myself when I sit around and don't try to find a solution or a remedy or something to accommodate myself or to alleviate whatever symptoms of this undesired reality that I don't want. And I think the biggest lesson for me this past week was, even though certain situations lit a fire under me to take action and pull the strings of my own life, I cannot always wait for unfortunate circumstances to do that for me. I have to do it for myself because I have a life that I want to live. I have goals that I want to meet. I have a certain energy that I want to embody. And it has to materialize because I want it that bad. It cannot materialize because circumstances forced me to exhaustion and to disgust or disdain or resentment. And through every humbling experience, I think you really, really just have to reflect, pause, recalibrate, and move forward with a mind less focused on deficits and more focused on the toolbox that you've built so far and the clarity and the new information that's helpful and beneficial to you into your next 24 hours, into your next 7 days, into your next 31 days, into your next 365 days. Anyway, that's this episode. If you like this style, if you like the ChatGPT questions and explanations and my input on that, let me know. If you like my tone of voice in this episode, let me know. Otherwise, if you have thoughts to share, questions to ask, anything you want to contribute to the experience of this episode for me, for yourself, or for others, comment down below. But I'm going to peace out. So blessings and peace.